Hello, and my aren't these weeks flying past again. Here we are with chapter 13 of Where Did Your Heart Go? By me, Audrina Lane. Sit back and enjoy. Charlotte had been practising her routine almost non-stop since her dance teacher had told her about the competition in Birmingham. The troupe was 12 girls, including her best friend Julia, and they were going to be doing their most difficult routine for the competition to the song Umbrella by Rihanna. It meant that they had to use brollies as props. What was even better was that Charlotte had been chosen to perform the small solo section in the middle of the song, so the diary remained unread for the next few days of the week until Saturday dawned. "Good luck, sweetheart," I said as she boarded the coach at 7. Having the day ahead without any interruptions was a luxury, so I gave Sarah a call and we headed for the health spa for a day of pampering. "You know I gave Charlie my diary to read," I said. "Yes, is something wrong?" Sarah asked. "Well, every time I go into her room I find that I have to keep reading it myself, and my mind is a mess of memories," I replied. "I'm not sure I've done the right thing." Sarah reached out and patted my arm. "I'm sure you've done the right thing, and I'm sure she's strong enough to cope with everything you've written," Sarah said. She looked down as we both remembered New Year's Eve. "After all, it was because of this that you got together with Mark." I nodded and smiled. Again, although deep in my heart I knew that Mark had always been the consolation prize. I smiled and remembered the significant part I played in getting Sarah and Chris together. I was amazed that they had come through the years and still looked as much in love as they did at our school leavers dance 24 years ago. Their only heartbreak had been the realisation that they might never be able to have children, but they had helped me so much when Charlotte had been born and Mark had gone, that they were almost like surrogate parents to her, and she always knew that she could turn to them as well as me in times of need. "Thanks for a lovely afternoon," Sarah said as I dropped her off at home. "I hope Charlotte's group have got through," Sarah said. "Me too, otherwise there'll be tears before bedtime," I groaned. Sarah giggled. "Well, you know where I am if you need to escape." As the coach pulled into the large arena car park, Charlotte started to feel the nerves. However, once she was in the large auditorium with all the other dance group, the excited noise of teenage voices calmed them, and although she had already thrown up after breakfast that morning, Julia and Charlotte went for a quick walk around to check out all the competition, but secretly they wanted to check out all the guys that were there, as some of the groups were from colleges. Each troupe then watched all the others do their routines, and Charlotte was glad she wasn't a judge as the competition was fierce. Charlotte was particularly impressed with a group of guys from a college in rugby, as their acrobatics took an amazing amount of skill. In particular, one guy stood out from the rest. He was tall with dark hair and a fantastic muscular physique. She guessed he was around 20 years old. "Come on, Julia, let's go and congratulate them," Charlie said as they sauntered over to the side of the stage. "I'm at the mercy of your hormones," Julia sighed. "Hi, great routine," Charlie said as she stuck out her hand at the dark-haired guy. "Hi there, thanks," he said. "My name's Mitchell, by the way." "Pleased to meet you, Mitchell. I'm Charlotte and this is Julia." As she shook his hand, she felt a shock of desire spike through her body, and she blushed as he smiled and his green eyes drank her in. "Come on, Charlie, we've got to warm up before our routine," Julia said, trying to drag her mesmerised friend away from the gaze of Mitchell. "I'll look forward to seeing you dance," Mitch said, as he walked away with the guys from his troupe. Their routine was as tight as they had ever performed it, and with applause ringing in their ears they left the stage. She glanced around for Mitchell and spotted him and his mates, and he smiled and waved. At the end, all the groups assembled around the stage to hear the results. Only 6 would go through to the final. And Charlotte grabbed Julia's hand as they waited for what seemed like an age before their names were called out and they were through. And she waited, and sure enough, the college from rugby also got through, which was good news. As they were waiting outside for their minibus, Mitchell rushed over to her and handed her a scrap of paper. It had his mobile phone number on it, and just the words, "Text me, Mitch." All the way home, Charlotte debated about how soon she should text him. Should she do it now, or later tonight, or tomorrow? In the end, she decided that a short text tonight when she got home didn't look too eager, but also didn't look like she was not interested at all. Watching the bus pull up, I saw plenty of smiling faces, so I guessed that they had made it through to the next round. After saying goodbye to Julia, Charlotte bounced over to me and gave me a big hug. "We got through, Mum." "I knew you'd do it," I replied as we headed towards the car. "I've done lasagna for tea. I hope you're hungry, and you can tell me all about it." "Yes, that sounds great, Mum," as she looped her arm through mine and we drove home. Once in her room later, Charlotte reached for her phone and typed in Mitch's number and then paused. What should she write? In the end, she decided to keep it simple and wrote, "It was great to meet you today. Hope we can stay in touch between now and the next round. Charlie," and a kiss. Then she turned to her mum's diary for a few pages before sleeping, as she still felt so hyped up from the competition and Mitchell. Friday the 19th of March 1988. It's James's turn to phone this evening, and I can hardly wait to hear his voice again. "Hi James," I answered, as his deep voice filled my ears and at the same time sent a tingle down my spine. "Hi Steph, how's your week been?" "Okay, so much coursework to get finished." "Keep at it. I know I was pretty lax at school, except in subjects that I liked," he replied. "So my next free weekend is the Easter one." "That's great news. Only 2 weeks to wait until we see each other again," I breathed. I was positive he could hear the happiness in my voice. "My mum says it's okay for you to stay at ours. You'll be in my room and I'll be in the spare room." "That will save me from sharing with Chris. I'd much rather share with you," James said, his voice low so that his parents wouldn't hear him. I was lucky to have a phone in my room now so I could talk more freely. "I love sharing a bed with you," I replied. I could feel a heat in my cheeks as I remembered all that had taken place, yet it seemed so distant. "I've got an interview for the fire brigade next Tuesday," James said. "Wow, that's great news. You better let me know how it goes. I'll be keeping my fingers crossed for you." A vision of James in uniform filled my thoughts and I sighed. "What's the sigh for?" "Just imagining you in that uniform. You can save me any day of the week," I flirted. "Well, I may need to practice my fireman's lift next time I see you," he laughed. Feeling sleepy, Charlotte leafed through the next few pages until she reached the Easter weekend entries. Friday the 1st of April 1988. I woke early and after breakfast I got the spare bedroom ready, as I told Mum that I would sleep on the small pull-out bed and let James have my room. Also, I knew that I could probably sneak up the flight of stairs once my parents had gone to bed, without stepping on any creaky floorboards. I had arranged with Sarah that we would meet and go swimming on Saturday, and she hoped that Chris would come again, as since Valentine's Day she had not even managed to pluck up the courage to go into the video shop. After that I was not sure what we could do, but I was sure that between us we could think of some ways to pass the time. Just after 10 I heard a car pull into the driveway and quickly dashed down the stairs to open the door. I ran into his arms and he held me close and breathed in the scent of my freshly washed hair. "Are you a sight for sore eyes?" he breathed as he bent down for a quick kiss, aware that my parents might see us. "You too." We wasted some time over coffee and then eagerly went to my room. He pulled me into his arms and we had a proper hello kiss that literally left me gasping and shaking in his arms as we moved a few feet to the bed and sank onto the duvet. Oh, the feel of his touch after a fortnight apart felt like heaven, as my body pressed against his in such a way that we felt like one. "Lunch is ready," Mum shouted as we went downstairs, and then afterwards we walked into town to meet Chris at the video shop. "Can you invite Chris to come swimming tomorrow, as Sarah wants to come," I said, as we walked along together, our hands tightly clasped. "Sure I can. I like matchmaking," he grinned. "Hi Chris," James said as we wandered over the shelves to give them some space to catch up. As I joined the conversation, Chris smiled at me. "We decided to go to the cinema afterwards," James said, pulling me close. "Sounds great. I'll give Sarah a quick call later and check she is free all evening." Charlotte was startled when her phone beeped and there was a message from Mitchell. "It was great to meet you too. Are you on Facebook, as we can talk through that as well as with text? I want to get to know you a bit more. Mitch," and a kiss. He signed his with a kiss too. What did this mean? She replied back with her Facebook username and then, as it was late, wished him good night. Now that's the end of chapter 13. If you're enjoying this, please like, share obviously with your friends and family, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And don't forget the book is available to buy now on amazon.co.uk or amazon.com, and I'd love to hear any of your thoughts and feelings about how the story's going. Anyway, take care and I will see you again next week. Bye bye.